Hi everyone and welcome back. Today I wanted to talk a little about wire, specifically how to find the right wire and the gauge for your pendants. Um, this isn't about rules or doing things correctly. It's really about comfort and feel and discovering what works best for you. So one of my most important things that I've learned over the many years that I have worked with wire is that wire will start to work with you once you find the one that you genuinely enjoy working with. So when you relax with the materials, when everything flows more easily, your hands soften, your movements become more intuitive, and your wraps feel a lot calmer and a lot more intentional. So I wanted to talk about wire gauges because this is where a lot of people feel a little bit unsure when they first starting to wire wrap. I know I certainly did, and I trawled the internet for trying to learn about the different types of wire that that can be used. So you've got sort of like the thicker gauges, so like the 1 millimeter and bigger, and they can sometimes feel a little bit tough, especially when you're starting out. They need a bit more strength, a bit more pressure, sometimes a bit more patience as well. It doesn't mean to say that they're in any way, shape, or form wrong to use. And in fact, they can create some really lovely looking pendants, very, very different style to what you might usually do. But the thicker wires, they often lead to um, things, kind of styles that feel bolder, more grounded, a bit more sculptural, maybe a bit more statement like pendants. And that's where they really do shine. So obviously we've got like a really thick 1.6. Now this is quite a heavy wire. It's very, very sort of strong, but at the same time it creates like a really lovely sort of dimension and shape. So I think that's 1.6 mil. This one is 1.4 mil. Again, you can see it bends really well, but it takes quite a lot of pressure to actually create that bend. I don't use them a lot. I tend to use them more for like the big choker style pendants. Maybe I can cut to a picture over here or something to sort of give you an idea of some of the things that I have created with that thicker wire. Then you've got the thinner gauges. So talking of the thicker gauges, just going back to that, obviously we've got round and we've got square, and they obviously offer a very different look, and you can texturize both in very different ways. We will do a video at some point in the future about texturizing the wire, but obviously this is a 1.6 mil square wire, which I haven't used a great deal of yet, but it's in my toolbox. We've also got a 1 mil square wire, which I have used, which is very, very nice as well. These are soft, so they're a little bit more malleable. They work in your hand a little bit better, very similar to the to the 0.8 mil that I use, which is this one. And these are all from MetalClays for you. So I always get my square wires from MetalClays for you. Then we've got, obviously, like I said, we've got 1.6 and the 1.4 round wires. We've also got a 1 mil round. This is from the Scientific Wire Company. It's quite a nice one for doing sort of the frames at the back of a pendant. So if I'm doing a tree of life, I'll quite often use this one to secure everything, build the bail and all of the sort of heavy duty stuff at the back of the pendant, and then I'm going to attach the much thinner gauges to this one. And then you've got the thinner gauges. So like I say, you've got the 0.8 mil or 20 gauge. So that's the square, and then we've got the round as well. So again, this one's, like I say, MetalClays for you. This one is from the Scientific Wire Company, and they do come on these huge spools, so you get quite a lot to work with. I think it comes as a kilo of wire. So this one is it's soft, but it's not dead soft, so it works in your hand very nicely, and it keeps its form very well. Yeah, it's really lovely to work with. It kinks, but it's very recoverable if it does. We've also got things like we've got a 0.6 mil round, so if you're working with coils, trying to make coils, you're going to need different gauges to sort of work with. So the 0.6 mil round wire is quite good for doing coils, and I'll do a tutorial on that as well at some point. This again is from MetalClays for you. And again, like I say, it's finding the wires that work for you. I've got this is a very, very soft 0.5 mil round copper, and it's taken me years to kind of find these wires that I like working with, and I enjoy the process of working with. I still come across things sometimes that I kind of go, I just don't get on with this wire, but that's part of the journey, is learning what you like and what you don't like. And then we've got our main weaving wire. So this is 0.4, which is, I think, is a 24 gauge, I think. But 0.4 mil weaving wire. Again, this is from, Scientific Wire Company, and you can buy them on these big spools, so they last absolutely ages, which is great. So my personal favourite, which if you've watched any of my videos, you probably see I use a lot, the 0.8 mil, either square or round, as my base wires, and then a 0.4 mil for my weave wire, whether that's the round or half round. And this half round is from Rio Grande, and is dead soft, and it's lovely to use. Let me just put that back on there, otherwise it'll be whizzing around all over the place. It's lovely to use, and it's very nice at creating a slightly different look on your weave. But yeah, again, try, see how you get on. I think you can also get half round, very similar to that, from MetalClays for you, though I haven't purchased any myself because I've still got loads left on my Rio Grande reel. I've then got a square silver plated wire. Now you can see with this, it's got quite a bit of spring. So this is a lot harder to work with, and for that reason I don't work with this that often anymore. I tend to stick to my silver filled wires, which again are the same gauges. So you've got 0.8 and 0.4 mil. Again, these are both from the Scientific Wire Company, and they are lovely wires. They're really lovely and soft to work with. But yeah, so they come on obviously a much smaller spool because of the value. I do have, let me just reach up here, silver plated round, again 0.8 mil, and I have plated, the plated silver 0.4 mil is a little bit argumentative, but this is why it's really, really good to play with wires from different companies rather than just sort of hedging all of your bets on one. Is just try and see how things feel, and then you can build from there. And then the last two spools I've actually got out at the moment are both from Rio Grande, and we have a silver filled 22 gauge half hard, half round wire. This is really lovely. It is half hard, so it can be a little bit, it does like to ping off, shall we say, if you don't secure it down. Whereas the sterling silver 24 gauge half round is, well, actually no, that's probably about the same. Actually, that does like to have a little bit of ping to it. So you can again see that it doesn't immediately bend into a shape when you push against it. So it's just working with what you've got. When you talk about wire hardness, I think most wire wrappers would err on the side of using soft or dead soft wire rather than hard or half hard. Hard wire is very difficult to sort of shape if you're trying to do flowing patterns. So if you were trying to maybe do something like this where it's sort of swirly, it's going to be quite argumentative, and it's also going to try and it's not going to hold its form very well. I think that's probably the best way of putting it. If you are new to wire wrapping, or if you love creating the sort of more flowy shapes on a pendant, I would definitely recommend that you try sort of soft or dead soft wire, just to help make it a lot easier for yourself. Once you've found that wire and you know how it feels in your hand and how it moves, your designs and your finishes will become markedly much better. So yeah, definitely sort of explore those different things. If you're using aluminium wire, that is incredibly soft and very easy to sort of misshape. So again, try it, see how you feel with it, and then you can kind of make your own judgment calls on what you prefer using. But yeah, the sort of the harder wires are definitely going to be much more challenging for you. It doesn't mean that they don't have their place in what we do as, you know, when we're wire wrapping, but certainly not for like the decorative side of things. But as I said at the beginning, there is no single right wire or right gauge, and it's very much, in my opinion, a personal preference on what you can or what you enjoy using. And it's the, you know, the one that is right for you is the one that feels good in your hands, the one that you actually get pleasure from working with. So my recommendation is experiment. You know, do so gently. Notice how different gauges respond and pay attention to how your body feels when you're working. Allow your preferences to evolve, because they will over time, and as your designs evolve and your confidence grows, this is all going to help you sort of build that identity of the types of pendants that you are making. Wire wrapping is meant to be, you know, like a free art. It helps you feel grounded. It's not stressful. And when you find the wire that your wire, should we say, when you find your wire, you'll know. You'll just know, because it's just going to feel right. And from there, that's where your designs will just blossom. So I hope this helps. I hope it makes a bit more sense. Like I say, explore where you can get your wires from, explore the gauges, explore the shapes, whether you want square or round or a bit of both, and then just try and create things. Try and see how it feels to design and make a pendant. Maybe follow a tutorial and design a pendant that, you know, you're following that design already. But anyway, I'm going to stop, because otherwise I'm going to waffle. I hope this has been helpful, certainly for people if you're new to wire wrapping. But let me know in the comments if you've got any questions, or, you know, what your feedback is, or if there's any wires that you really enjoy using and your recommendations. And don't forget to like and subscribe. So until the next one, guys, I will see you all very soon. Take care. Bye.